Obviously, disappointing to lose a game. Disappointing to have had 5 turnovers and not been able to capitalize or score, in any of those opportunities. Some of the players had some career days, but you'd rather have the W as opposed to to the losses. There's some good things that happened out there, but obviously there weren't good enough things to happen in terms of allowing us or giving us a chance to win. We talked about earlier about defensively giving up one less touchdown, offensively scoring one more touchdown, and how special teams had to be a big issue for us. And some of their drive starters, because of the kickoff, their kickoff return, put them in pretty good field position. So, got a lot of work to do. I mean, again, you can look at the positive of a lot of things, but for this football team, we're trying to win games and learn how to win games and stay in games and be in games. And, that's the goal and that's the challenge. And we'll continue to keep doing that and get ready for Clemson next week.
Could you go through your thoughts at the end of the first half prior to that second and goal from the 1?
Yeah, we got down there and, obviously you could have kicked the field goal, but obviously, we're 2-5. And the ball, we got 1 yard to score, trying to score a touchdown. The momentum was going. We did a great job moving the ball down there and try to get in the end zone and score a touchdown. And so.
Could you have thrown the ball possibly?
Yeah, again, you can talk about play selections, personnel groupings that we're in, but what we tried was a jumbo package play where we had an extra guy in, moved the line over, and try to show them something different and capitalize on it, and we didn't.
Mike, you mentioned a couple guys with career days and stuff like that. You forced 5 turnovers. Does that make this one even more frustrating because you've kind of reached those individual goals?
We talked about when you're playing a team like this that was number 2 in the country in time of possession, over 35 minutes. I believe they had the ball 26 minutes, and you have 5 turnovers or 5 extra possessions for yourself. That in any facet, to turn it over into points would be a positive thing. But at times defensively we played well, and then at times we didn't. I mean, particularly the first drive, it's always easy to try to simulate in practice, the triple option with your look team until you see the speed of the game in which they do it, because they do it all the time and they do it well. That first drive was indicative of just not, being in up the game speed, with that style of offense. But as the game went on, there's some things that we did that, some guys, made some nice plays. So it is, you look for the positive, but again, you look for the things that you have to do in order to win football games.
Mike, there was a lot of talk going into this game about the wide receivers' lack of production this season. Did you make a concerted effort to get the ball more to Tim and Darius in particular?
Not much of a concerted effort, but a challenge. That particularly a guy like Tim Smith. If you asked him, he probably not having a type of year that being a guy that in his last year wants to have. So he had a great week of practice. Emerged as a vocal leader, and all those things that we knew that he is capable of being. And today, it showed the type of guy that we'd like to rely on in those given those opportunities.
First quarter, first 3 drives and got into Georgia Tech territory and came away with nothing. Did you feel at that point that might haunt you later on?
I don't know about coming back. Obviously, well, yeah, obviously it comes back when you after the game and you look back and reflect on not having those opportunities. Their defense was a very good defense, giving up 19 points a game, and and you're right. You get into those drives and you get into those opportunities that give you a chance. I believe there were 3 drives of over 12 plays in this game. We've never done that, and so again, there were some good things that occurred, but obviously not good enough to close out the game or to give us an opportunity to win in a manner that has to be consistent with the way the defense is playing, and as I said, the field position of special teams.
Mike, what went into Zach Bradshaw getting the start there, and how did you feel about starting 4 freshmen against that that unique offense?
Well, Zach had been penciled in to play back in the Oregon game, and he broke his hand in practice and had to get surgery in his hand, had a pin inserted in it, and so just kind of waiting for that opportunity to, to get him in there. So we've been planning on playing him for a long time. Dante Wilkins, Tim Harris. Again, you look at guys for the first opportunity, or their first, from some starts in a college football game, particularly against, this team. But this is who we are right now, and they're good young players. And they'll be very, very good players. But we didn't play well enough, particularly the second half. But that last stretch down there to come away with a victory.
Coach, this is your defense has given up 11 touchdowns of 20 yards or more this season, 3 more of those today. Are those really kind of backbreakers in a game when somebody rips off a really long touchdown?
Sure. Whenever you have an explosive play, of over 20 yards, I mean, those are the things moves. It's 2 first downs, and it's one of explosive plays where it can change the whole field position, and and psychologically it can come back to to affect the players. So, our challenge is when those plays do happen, to not allow those plays to turn into touchdowns or scoring plays. And that's because you're going to get plays in the game, but for the plays to turn into scoring opportunities, is very difficult to to take, particularly if it's a third down play and long. And I'm quite sure that that's some of the things we'll have to look at and make sure that we continue to keep coaching and teaching the importance of not giving up explosive plays, run or pass.
You had a pretty good look at that 65-yard run. I think it happened right in front of you. What happened on that? After your possession, after you scored a touchdown to cut it to 21-17, got high, went 65. They completed the third down pass, and then right in front of you, it looked like you had 4 guys cornered.
Well, yeah, there's we talk about setting the edge. Setting the edge means you make sure that the runner cuts inside of you to where pursuit is. And, whether a blocker is on you or not, you have to be able to, to do that. And obviously, we weren't in the type of position to set the edge because I believe the runner went outside the guy that was supposed to set the edge and continued to run and then did some cutback. So, that's fundamental football that you have to have when you're playing, whether it's a ball thrown on the perimeter, whether it's a run, whatever it is. We talk about setting the edge, and the edge wasn't set in that play.
Coach, obviously the offense was very different this week, 61 pass attempts, 31 rush attempts. Was that part of the game plan coming in, or was it more a product of how the game played out and playing from behind?
I believe a little bit of both in that, their defense is a pretty good defense with Itachu and some of the other players there. And, their run defense, they packed the box there a little bit. We talked about bringing a safety down. Again, only giving up 19 points. So we felt that, you could still run the ball effectively if you spread them out. But as the game went on, obviously, the thing that became positive for us was the ability to spread the ball by throwing it. And that became and adopted the game plan and how we moved forward in that.
Mike, you talked about Tim Smith and his day. Darius Jennings had a big game as well. Is that kind of the player you envisioned when he came here, and can he do that consistently, do you think?
I believe Darius can do that consistently. We made the wide receiver switch, with the other personnel and the other players. And Darius was one of the guys that said, what, we had been too complacent. We got to work harder. And he embraced the role of being a guy that goes in when that number is called, kickoff return guy, and a guy that works hard in practice. And so to see him have an opportunity, a positive opportunity in his production, it's no wonder because of the approach that he took to, getting his game better.
Coach, you over here in the corner. You went without Jake McGee today. How close was he to playing, and was that something that you knew throughout the week that you'd be without him today?
Well, he was kind of a day-by-day, situation with the hip pointer and the lower extremity issue, and just he dressed, and he probably could have gone, but it's still 4 games left to play, and then just to try to put him out there to make things happen from a standpoint if he's not 100% ready. Particularly with the lower extremity not going to chance it on that, and I feel confident that we'll have him back against Clemson.
Mike, on those same lines, Ian, I think, was dressed today. How close was he to go? Obviously, Alec, missed another one today.
Yeah, Ian has battled back or is battling back from his issue with his hip flexor, and he was out there kicking, and he's gone through practice, and we've evaluated where that position is in the situation there. So again, we'll go into this week, and as we always do, we chart the kickers from distances, from accuracy, and now that I believe that Ian is back, so to speak, then we'll look and see where he is.
I think so.
All right,
Chief
thank
Snyder's
you.
in the back.